It's good to have you all. Welcome to market updates. This is monthly market updates because every close of the month is actually a signal of what is most likely the following month. And thank God the month of October just closed and we are now in the month of November. So what actually happened in the month of October and what should we expect in the month of November? Welcome. All right, my name is Oluwole Olawipo, and this is Market Formula. This is where I break down the chart. Using technical analysis, I break down the Nigerian stock market just for us to know the best entry and exit prices, entry prices, exit time, and exit entry time and exit uh, time. All right, you are welcome. If you don't mind, just let me know where you are joining from in the comment. All right, if you are joining here from Nigeria or from any part of the world you are joining from, kindly let me know in the comment as we dive into what we have for today. So, as usual, we are going to start by looking at the all share index of the Nigerian stock market from the technical analysis point of view. So from what we can see now, I've adjusted my Bollinger Band. Let me tell you one secret about indicators. Indicators by default, for them to select that default, they know that okay, that default actually work fairly uh fairly it works perfectly. All right, let me just say it is fairly perfect. That's why they selected the Bollinger, the default indicators. So for us to now uh, do a tweak to it, what I normally advise is that you either multiply it by 2 or you divide it by 2. Just do a multiple of 3 or division of 3. So by default, the Bollinger Band comes with the 20 moving average. That's 20 period simple moving average. That's what it comes with. But at times I change it to 40 if I want to see extreme volatility. At times I change it to 20. But for this video, I'm going to be using 40. So see how 40 actually reacted here. It gave me this range perfectly. So you see how market was struggling here when it was bouncing in between this 40 period uh, volatility bound. That's the Bollinger Band. So since then, we have started riding on this trend, and the month of October, see what it ended being on the monthly chart is a bullish candle, but slight retracement. That means it experienced a slight seller's pressure. Remember when we had this big candle and we had this small rejection above it, following it, and after we now have this green candle, I knew that most likely market will continue because this is actually a continuation pattern. I've seen this pattern a lot of times that you will see a pin bar, meaning the sellers try to push it back, forming a pin bar. Then instantly, immediately after it, maybe you now have a bullish candle stays by it. A bullish candle stay by it. Most likely, it will go back and hit this place. It can break it, and that's what happened here. This is the pattern that formed on the monthly chart. So let's step it down. Like we will need to do a top-down analysis. So I'm bringing it down now. So what actually happened last week? So last week, the market made a higher high, but because became a red candle, meaning sellers at this high are trying to push price back down. That's what it means. For it to make higher high, assuming it did not make higher high now, I can be saying, okay, maybe let's see what sellers will do at that high. But for it to make higher high and retrace, then it means that sellers wants to come in at this present high. So how do we know whether it's a valid swing or not a valid swing? Although there are three conditions that I normally teach for us to have a confirmed or a valid swing. Okay, the number one is that we need to have opposite candle. Opposite candle. That means either a bullish candle and a bearish candle, or a bearish candle and a bullish candle. So right now we have a green candle and a red candle, meaning we have opposite candle. Then the other one is that we need a pullback candle. So, but we did not have a pullback candle because this current red candle had a higher high. There is no pullback yet. So that there was an higher high. So this coming week, there must be a continuation. If there is no continuation, this is the week that we actually confirm what we are seeing on the chart. If there is a continuation, then we can say, okay, maybe this market still wants to push higher. Some analysts are projecting that this market will get to 200,000. Well, it's possible. It's possible. But for it to be possible, this market must not lose momentum. It's like when you are driving and you are driving up an hill, and let's say as you are driving up the hill and the car is now, or the car now is now getting slow, is slowing down, it will get to a time that if it slows down too much, you will struggle to climb it again. That means it will the force of gravity, or it will start pulling it back. So that level, that time, even if you try to accelerate, it might not be able to pick it up again. That's how price move. Price moves like like motion. It moves like motion. So for it to get to this mountain top, because we're actually on the mountain, see where price started from. Started from here, at least we have some consolidation, and started another mountain climbing from here. Now it has gotten to the top of the mountain. For it to continue and get to this 200,000 basis points, it's possible. It must not lose momentum. It must keep climbing with momentum. And how do we know that it will keep climbing with momentum? We just mark our most important candle. And in this case, our most important candle is going to be this candle here. So this is the candle that we are looking at, and until we have a close below this candle, then this is not going to be a valid swing. We had a valid swing here, remember. We had another valid swing here. So when we have a valid swing up and a valid swing down, we mark this zone as a valid range. So what happened to the price? Price broke out of this range, and when price is breaking out, the first target is supposed, most times, is going to be the height of this range. So let's see, and we see that market got to that height and was finding some sort of resistance. So let's now see, is market going to close above it? So this week will tell us that. So until next week, by this weekend, that's when we will know whether this is a continuation pattern or a reversal pattern. Because when there is going to be a continuation pattern, we will first see red candle and then followed by green candle. That means it's a continuation pattern. If it's a reversal pattern, you just see red candle, and it will take out the most important candle and start going down, down, down. So let's look at some other indices, like let me see, banking index. So for banking index, let's see what happened. Those are oil and gas. I know is a breakout and is extremely high. So the banking index, see what is happening to the banking index, is retracing. So if you are looking for stock to buy now, you can consider the banking stocks for stocks to buy. Where are we targeting this retracement to be? So if the retracement can get to somewhere around this midpoint of this Bollinger Band, you see that the midpoint has been acting as support. When it hit here, it bounced off it, hit here, struggled, still bounced off it, hit here, bounced off it. So when it's coming again, we are waiting for a bounce around that level. So for the banking index, is already pulling back. So looking at banking stocks now, I think this month should be the month that we start looking for entries just to buy banking stocks cheap. Let's look at insurance. So for insurance index, Okay, NGX insurance. Let's see what's actually happening. This insurance index is also a pullback. So if you are looking for fresh entries, now also we wait for pullback, because this is actually a pullback. What we are waiting for is that we want this thing to pull back the more. Let it pull back the more. The more it pulls back, the more opportunity for fresh entry. If price is not pulling back, then it's not giving room for people to fresh investors to come in. That's what it's telling us. And if I'm looking at this pattern now, we are saying we are waiting for it around here. That's where we are waiting for it. We cannot buy this again because we have a value swing up here now. We're having a value swing up here. So I expect that this industry, okay, their stock prices should continue to come down lower and lower for a fresh entry. So do I need to check one more? Let me check the oil and gas. For oil and gas, I know oil and gas is a breakout. Let's see how far the breakout can last. All right, so see what is happening. This is a breakout, and even though last week was a pin bar, so this is a pin bar price rejection. So when we have a price rejection like this, it can either mean a continuation pattern or a reversal pattern until we wait for what will happen this week. If this week market comes down like this, then we take it as a reversal pattern. It has to take out this low. We take it as a reversal pattern. If it doesn't happen like this and we just have another bullish candle staying close by it, then this will most likely mean a continuation pattern. So that is what this industry also is looking like. Okay, let's now take one or two stocks that we can look at. Let me first check my chart. You can see some people are already chatting me from Abuja. Thank you for joining from Enugu. All right. From Kaduna, Abeokuta, Nigeria. You're welcome to my channel. All right. So let's look at few banks that we can consider this month. So I will just tell you where you should likely put your entry. Let's start from, I may not be able to take all, but let's just take the ones that we can take. As they are coming to my mind, I will just take them. So I know, yes, it's a pullback, and see what is actually happening to Access Bank. This is a pullback. I wish this you were able to pick this stock when it was hitting 22 naira. But from what I'm looking at, this candle is still my most important bearish candle until market is able to close above here for us to say, okay, we are going higher. But for this, if you can get access around 22 naira or below, actually, I would have loved to pick those entry around here, inside here. But you know how market is. Market at times will not give us what we want. We have to compromise sometimes. And that's what I'm looking at. If possible, if we can still retrace and pull back the more, which I am seeing that is most likely going to pull back the more. All right. Until we have a close above here, for me to say that it's not going to pull back the more. So I can say that you can still get it around maybe 22 naira. If you get it at 22 naira, I think it's good for now until we see what happens next week. Because next week we tell a different story. This is a weekly chart I'm looking at. So every week the market tells us shows us another story for what it wants to do, because we actually react to what the market actually wants to do. So that is for Access. For Zenith, I like what Zenith is doing. Although I bought high, it's coming down. It's giving me opportunity to buy lower. So for me, I would say if you have not bought before, then it's actually giving us room to buy cheaper. So this support is already broken. Like I said before, support are getting broken in this market. So for support to be broken, then we look for the next support. The next support is going to be around here. So as it's coming down like this, we look for better entry. Just make sure that you buy as low as possible. There is actually if you can get it maybe around that 56 naira that I have here for Zenith, is fantastic. Because looking back, let's even take it back since here. See how this support has actually been holding. So see how the support has been holding like 3 times. So if it's coming back again, somewhere around here, we buy. So that's what. And let me say this: this is an aggressive entry. Like as I was telling them yesterday during Q&A, I said this is an aggressive entry. Aggressive entry is you just timing. Okay, maybe as a support, you just buy. You just buy at a support without seeing any signal. It's aggressive. The advantage is that you will get a good entry, but the disadvantage is that most at times the signal might not work out. But if you see a good stock at a support, you can turn it to an investment. We are trading, and your trading you can actually convert to an investment. What I mean by investment is, let's say you bought this stock to sell in the next 6 months, projecting that okay, in the next 6 months I should be able to get maybe 30 to 40% return on it, and you now bought it and it's going down. What do? You can convert it to an investment. Investment means that maybe for the next 1 year or 2 years you are still holding it, but I can assure you in the next 1 or 2 years all this stock that we are saying will not be at this price. I can assure you. So if you can start positioning now, and I'm already giving us where our entry should start from. For Zenith, if you can get it around 56 naira, as close as possible to 56 naira, that's the level I can recommend for Zenith. And you agree with me that Zenith is actually a good stock when we talk about fundamentally sound stock or fundamentally sound banking stock. You will know that Zenith is part of them. So having Zenith at the 56 naira mark is actually a good buy. So let's look at another stock for the banking stock. Let me see. Which other one do we were we FCMB? Okay, UBA. UBA too was breaking support. Yes. All right. So you can see that UBA is already now touching our moving average point. So if I'm going to say you should buy any stock this week, I will say you should be able to get UBA. So if you can get UBA even slightly lower than this as an aggressive trader, slightly lower than this 38 naira that I'm seeing here, it's good for you. When is the trade going to be confirmed? When we see a bullish candle close above the most important bearish candle, which is here, which is this candle in this case. So if you want to be a conservative trader, you want to be conservative. As it's going down, you will not buy it. You will wait until buyer steps in and they are able to push it to close around here. Then if that happens, then that's your confirmation for entry. So choose anyone you want to do. And let me even check to see the risk reward, if this risk reward is actually good enough. For 22%, let's say your entry was around here, 22% return on this stock, and that can happen in the next 3 to 6 months, which is good as a trader. That's fantastic. All right, so that is for UBA. Let's take one more banking stock, then we go to insurance. And I think I was looking at FCMB. FCMB also was trying to break support. FCMB. So for FCMB, okay, struggling. I think it gained again, but I wish it can still come lower. So for FCMB, you see that it's too close to the Bollinger Band. Anything outside this Bollinger Band here is actually an overbought region. Overbought. That means price will correct, come back inside. Come back inside. It went outside. So even if it goes up like this, it will still come back inside. I wish we can get this stock around here, which is that level should be, let me check what price will be around that level, around 10 naira, which is actually their public offer price. So that is for FCMB. Let me take one more for this. I think I'm seeing for FCMB, I think Fidelity. Let me check Fidelity. I know Fidelity also is doing some fantastic thing. You see, so what happened here was that Fidelity was trying to close below this our moving average here. So for it to be like this, if you can get Fidelity anything below this price this week with below 18 naira or thereabout, our last entry is going to be here, or let's say the best entry for this stock is actually going to be the tip of this Bollinger Band here. That's that's my extreme volatility as I'm looking at it. So from if you can hit here, which is 16 naira 50 kobo, that is very good. If you can get it at 16 naira 50 kobo, but if you are afraid of missing out, okay, you can start buying. Don't take your full position, just take part of your position at 18 naira 40 kobo or anything lower. So that's for that. So let's check insurance. Insurance, Heiko, but the best of them all. So what is happening to Heiko? And see that it's struggling outside of the Bollinger Band because it was already overbought. And remember what we saw on the index, that market was trying to correct in that industry. So if we can get a pullback, I will have loved pullback in this stock. It doesn't have enough momentum. It's like you are on the hill, like the analogy that I used when I was starting. You are on the hill. You must not lose momentum. You must keep pushing. So if you lose momentum, it will correct. And see how far this midpoint is. The midpoint is so far. So I don't know what we will say concerning this stock. Although analysts are telling us that insurance sector should now be very attractive now due to the new government policy. But from what I'm looking at now, that momentum is fading. We don't expect this to happen. It has taken too long at that level, and most likely price might correct. So if you are looking for entry, but you can get it as low as 3 naira for this stock. So continue to watch. Continue. Don't be eager, or don't uh be patient enough. That's what I want to say. Be patient enough. Don't be too aggressive as far as per this kind of pattern that I'm seeing. We don't need to be aggressive. Try as much as possible to bargain. Look for cheaper stock, cheaper prices to enter. So which other one can I look at here? Which other one? Which other one? Which other one? Even Sono. Let me just look at Sono because I know Sono broke support. So the support did not hold. So if you have Sono, fine. Support did not hold, but we are almost hitting another support. So if you did not buy before, if you can get Sono from maybe 4 naira 35 from here, or even this low, this swing low, 4 naira. If you can get Sono at 4 naira this week, I think you can buy some. Just buy some of Sono. Start buying. If it comes lower, then we can buy more for average. That is if you are want to be aggressive. But if you don't want to be aggressive and you want to be conservative, just like the pattern that is forming on Owando now, Owando, we are going to look at it. You will see the pattern that is forming because okay, let me just quickly rush this. So if you want to be conservative, then you are not buying in now. You want to wait for next week to form and close above this Bollinger Band here. No, above this candle here, which is my most important bearish candle in this case. Let me see if I can take one more in the insurance, Universal, Mansard. Okay, let me check Mansard. See, it's a pullback. So as it's pulling back, you already know where the entry is going to be. we are waiting for it around here. That is our entry. So that's where we are waiting for it. Let me clear this chart. So let me just look at what is happening in Orlando. I know in my last video, was it last week? No, I don't think it was last week, but I can't really remember. Maybe last week. I did a video on this particular stock saying that maybe it's due for pull for a ride. All right. So what actually happened last week was that we had a bullish candle, a very strong bullish candle at a very significant price level. So let me explain what I mean. From this swing, this is the downswing. From this swing, this is the most important bearish candle. From this swing, let me put a box around it. So that will form like a support zone. We are waiting and looking for any candle that will close below it. So because there is no, see what happened here. This is the buy signal, this is the buy continuation, and immediately we got here, we saw another reversal. So price also made something like this here. That's the bullish most important candle, because candle, the market failed to close above it. Let me now tell you what I'm expecting. So because of this signal is at a key level, and because of this signal, I will mark this level as a value swing. So this is a value swing. If you can get this stock or handle for at 41 naira, 55 kobo, or around that price this week, is actually good. That's like your best entry, because we now have another bearish most important candle. Because these candles are small, I can combine maybe like 3 together. And if I combine 3 weeks bearish candle, see what market did? It actually closed above the 3 weeks, telling you that there is a momentum in this market. I don't know what's maybe responsible, but there is a momentum. So if you do not have it, because we already bought around somewhere around the same entry price now, look for entry. But if you have it and you bought with us when we bought the first time, I don't think you need to buy more, because price is still around the same entry zone. So you don't want to increase risk for that. Assuming it was coming down lower and it got to around maybe 35 naira, I can say, okay, let's buy more. But for it to turn at that key level, then there is no need to actually buy more. So if you have entered, so where are we going to take profit now? As it's going up, we take profit inside this place. Inside this place. First profit target is going to be inside this place. It now depends on your entry and your return, and following again your trade plan. So if I say like this, so as it's getting to, you are making like 25%, 30% sell part. If the market is able to close above here, then this is the bullish continuation of this pattern. Then it will open up that Bollinger Band. Then we can now ride back to the previous high. We can ride back to the previous high. All right, so that is for Owando. Which other stock did well this week? Which other stock? Which other stock? Let me check another oil and gas stock. Okay, let's look at Haradale, because I know Haradale also did some pattern that we need to pay attention to. Okay, why is Haradale pulling back? It will have to pull back because the market is overbought. This is my Bollinger Band. And what happens to price? Price has already overextended outside of the Bollinger Band. And it has hit their listing price, which are around 800 naira. Market hit that price and form a pullback. So for a breakout to be confirmed, one, we need a pullback breakout, we need a pullback, and we need a continuation. So this week, if there is no continuation, then we need to wait for pullback. This week, I need a bullish candle to go up this week. If the bullish candle did not go up this week, then it's going to expose this low, the low of this candle. So that's what I'm expecting here. So if you are aggressive, you can buy some and wait and see what the market will do to close this week that we are entering. So if this week is a bearish candle, meaning that okay, let's wait for pullback. But if this week is a bullish candle, most likely is a continuation pattern. Then we can ride that pattern that is forming. Let me see my chart. I can see chart now. ASO savings. Okay, sovereign and ASO savings. For ASO savings, I won't be able to say much about it because we don't have much price data. Because technical analysis works based on uh, numbers. We need enough sample data. So it's statistics. So if there is no enough sample data, there's no way we can actually project price action. Let me show you what I'm saying. You will see that you just see one big candle that just went up. You see, so there is really nothing to look at here as far as technical analysis is concerned. They've been on suspension here. Immediately they lifted it. Price went to where it's supposed to have been. So what it means is this: all this while when they were on suspension, it's an artificial force. They were forcing the price down, forcing the price down. Remember when dollar was not allowed to float and the government was forcing it down, pegging it at 200 and so on. Immediately they remove the peg, what happened to price? Price will just skyrocket. It will go to where it's supposed to have been if they have not put that artificial force. That is the same thing that is happening to this particular stock. They have held it sold down for long. Now that they remove the force that is keeping it down, price has just gone to where it's supposed to be. But how far can it now go? I cannot tell using technical analysis because we don't have price action. We don't have data. Assuming it has been going up and down now for some time before it got here, then I can project. So that's for ASO savings. For sovereign, and that's where we are going to round up for tonight. For sovereign trust, so for sovereign trust, I think it's also going to be a pullback. So let's check for sovereign trust. All right. My network. Sovereign trust. Okay. Oh my God. See what happened to sovereign trust. Wow. Okay. This is a good ride, but see what is happening. Price is already outside of the Bollinger Band, meaning it's overbought. And we had what? Last week we had a breakout, but this pullback is too much. That means sellers are really pushing it back down. So where's my most important candle? It's going to be here. So two things we are looking at. If this week forms a bullish candle like this, then I can say this might expose this level. But if this week forms a bearish candle and close below here, then this will be a value swing. It will come back. It will come back for this swing low here. We have one swing low here. We have one swing low here, and we also have another swing low here. So any of those levels, that's where we are going to pick our entry from. This pullback is so much, is huge. So we won't be able to project, we won't be able to analyze this further. And that's all that we can take tonight. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you for your time. Until next month, again, when we are looking at the market to check for market update like this. All right. I wish you all a very profitable trading month for the month of November as we are preparing to round up the year. Thank you.